So listen, man. So I want to know. I was doing some research. You good? Everything good?
Yeah, I'm just gonna get some more light in here.
Okay. Yeah, I was. Oh, there you go. That looks good. How many of these Zoom interviews have you done over the last couple of months?
Yeah, it's quite a few actually. I'd say maybe around over 10 for sure.
Really?
Yeah, it's been I'm getting used to it now though.
You got your own setup. Did you feel like you have to have like some sort of wall of stuff behind you when you do those interviews, or you don't feel like you're at that point yet?
No, I don't think I'm at that point yet. I think it's taking it day by day, but it's I think I'm pretty good to Zoom now. So
Well, listen, I don't know if you saw the what I got behind me. Custom made.
Yeah, I just saw it. Nice
Custom jersey hanging
awesome.
up. You don't want to know what that was before or anything after it, but I just wanted to show you, I do my set based on who I'm interviewing that day. So I put a lot of effort into this.
Yeah, it looks good. That's awesome.
Thank you. So listen, dude, I was going through your Instagram from like years ago, and I was looking at you and your family and your dad, and I want to know if your dad was ever the kind of guy that would ever yell at your youth, like hockey coaches or the referees or anything like that, because your dad looks like the kind of guy that doesn't take any crap.
Yeah, he definitely in the car rides home. There's definitely be some yelling there. Coaches, not really. He kind of stayed away from the coaches. Maybe I'm guessing he yelled at the refs a couple times for sure. But I remember when I was younger, those having a bad game or not working so hard, getting back in the car on the ride home, he was for sure relaying to me a bit.
Oh, so he'd get on you. He wouldn't get on anybody else?
Oh yeah, he'd get on me. He'd be on me the most.
Anything you can recall that him saying that really stuck with you, maybe to this day?
Biggest thing was just kind of working hard and the rest will take care of itself. So I think that's what kind of stuck with me throughout my years of playing junior and moving up here, so into the pros. So I think that's kind of what stuck with me the most.
Anthony Cirelli, I didn't give you like a proper introduction. You're an actor, you're also a fashion designer, and you're an athlete. So let's go ahead and let's talk about the acting portion of your career right now, since everything's been going on. Tell me about your breakout role in Killer's video, and how many times did you have to go through throwing the tray of drinks before you nailed that take?
Yeah, acting debut, Killer, was nice enough to let me be in his video, which I think turned out pretty awesome. Takes, I honestly only took me 2 takes. Only one time throwing the tray though, but the whole thing took me twice to do. From the whole getting the tray to dumping it happened twice. The first time was I think it went too fast or I was too quick or something like that. And then the second time I nailed it. So, I did. Pretty impressed with how that whole thing came out. Killer really did a good job, and the people behind the scenes that got it done.
Are you a jet ski guy? Was that your jet ski?
No, that wasn't mine. Killer got it for me. I'm not sure whose it was, but that was actually my first time riding a jet ski.
Nothing like steroids.
Sorry, here the TV just went on.
Oh no, what's going on now? What are you watching? Highlights of yourself or something?
No, I was actually tuning into 13 Reasons Why. The new season came out, so I was kind of.
Oh wow. Oh, that's some dark stuff, man.
Honestly, yeah. I watched everything, and I watched the first 2 or 3 seasons, so I was like, might as well. Got nothing else to do.
So listen, I saw a lot of people talking about you riding the jet ski in jeans. Is that something that anybody brought to your attention at all? Did you hear any feedback about that? Because apparently that's like a New Jersey thing to do or something.
Yeah, I saw a lot of feedback on the whole jeans on the jet ski kind of thing, and I thought it was pretty clear that was kind of the role I was playing, so that's why. It wasn't my choosing of getting on the jet ski with jeans on, because I much prefer getting in with shorts or like a bathing suit. But my role there was to be a server at the restaurant, and I hopped on the jet ski to join the guys. So I didn't really have much time to get changed or anything. So that's the reason behind the whole jeans on the jet ski.
How much of a dictator was Killer on the set? I mean, was he just like too much of a tyrant to even work with, or what? How was he as a director?
He was pretty good for his debut. He kind of, he was obviously on the jet ski the whole time because he was the first scene or second scene. But yeah, he was great at it. I'm not sure if he developed the whole story. I don't know really the background story about how it came about, but he wanted it done quick, and he didn't take too much time, so it was a lot of fun.
Dude, so I got to ask you, so phase 2 of the NHL getting back together starts today as we record. What does that mean, and what does that mean for you? Have you been able to get together with your teammates, or are you planning on it?
Yeah, obviously, stoked that we're able to use Emily in our arena to get skating and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure. I think we're starting up tomorrow. But yeah, just to obviously there's so many protocols in place. I'm not sure if you read it or not, but a whole article came about on what we have to do. So I think it's the proper way to keep everyone safe, for right now in this phase 2. And I think a lot of guys are excited to just be back and able to get back on the ice and get back in the gym.
Did you think there was a chance that hockey wouldn't resume this year?
No, I was pretty optimistic the whole time. Obviously, the league and the players seemed pretty optimistic that we would eventually, try and get this season finished. So, this is obviously a step in the right direction, and kind of seeing the light at the end of the tunnel where we could for sure be back full time soon.
Now I'm looking behind you. I'm trying to see where are those 3 pucks you had from your hat trick? Like, where do you keep those? Do you have those anywhere special?
No, honestly, I'm pretty sure they're still at the rink. They're in my stall. I haven't really.
No, wasn't a big deal?
No, obviously it's pretty cool. It's something special for sure, but I haven't had the chance to pick them up and do anything with them. It was there's stuff kind of going around on right now, so yeah. But obviously that's a special moment. That's pretty cool to have.
Now, I read an article from, I think, a couple of weeks ago about, that you were going to learn to try to cook a new meal every day, and that your mom was sending you red sauce. And I want to know, how quickly did you give up on doing that and just started ordering Uber Eats every day?
Yeah. Funny that you say that. I tried to go as long as I could. So that lasted probably about maybe 2.5 months
Wow.
of trying to cook as much as I can. And then there's, to a point where I was just kind of done with the whole cooking and cleaning and like the whole, trying out different recipes. The last probably 3 weeks was just kind of sticking to what I knew, because I was kind of tired of the trial and error portion of it. So, but I'll still cook here and there, but Uber Eats is up and running, and like I said, they're doing some pretty good precautions as well. So, it's been all right.
All right. When you were doing some gaming stuff for the NHL, right, during this pause?
Yeah, I played in an NHL game against my buddy Warren Fogle.
Okay.
Hurricane.
I didn't know if that's like something that you do normally. I wanted to know, like, who talks the most trash in the league during those games? Do you know? Are you a trash talker?
No, maybe a little bit, because I knew who I was playing against, and he's one of my good buddies. So maybe a little bit trash talking. I don't usually try and get into that stuff. I actually did it for Johnny. Johnny was supposed to do it, but something came up, so
Wow, he bailed.
I don't know if he bailed. I think something important came up or something like that. So
Sure.
give him the benefit of the doubt. So I did it for him, and like I said, I was against my buddy, so it was a lot of fun.
All right, listen, how was you met Post Malone, didn't you, a while back?
Yeah, when he was down in Tampa, we ended up going to the concert, and we were lucky enough to see him and grab a pic after the concert.
How did that go? Because Killer said he made you guys wait backstage like an hour, and then he was playing some sort of private concert, and then he came out to meet you guys real quick. Is that what happened?
Yeah, Killer kind of nailed it. He obviously it's a different world where what they're doing, and the concert was amazing, and it sounded like he was kind of playing a little private concert, maybe in front of his family or whatnot. But yeah, so he did that, and then we waited for a bit, and then he came out and was nice enough to grab a picture with us. So it was super cool meeting him, and the concert, like I said, was a lot of fun.
Now let me ask you a hockey question. Now we all in Tampa Bay, we are all aware of how good you are, what a great two-way player you are. Do you feel like you are under the radar, you think, still in the grand scheme of the NHL, or do you think that some people are starting to be aware of how you're starting to come into your own?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Obviously, there's so many unbelievable players in this league. Just to be able to play in this league is a huge honor. So I don't really look at that stuff and stuff like that, but I'd say maybe the media get a little bit more interviews and stuff like that is one thing I noticed maybe, but at the end of the day, I'm just there to play hockey and try and help out the team whenever I can.
What's the best compliment you've received on your game, whether it's from a teammate, an opponent, a coach over the years?
I think just my teammates. Sometimes quotes would come out and stuff from their interviews, and just the nice things and the good things that they have to say about me. Because I'm going into battle with them every single night. So to get those compliments from guys that you're playing with, I think is a huge honor. And like I said, just to go out there with them and with those guys and be able to play the game that I love was a lot of fun. And like I said, I don't really take too much focus in on that. I kind of just take it day by day and just kind of focus on the hockey part.
So the fact that people are comparing you to Patrice Bergeron, you don't want to hear you haven't heard that stuff at all?
Yeah, no, obviously it comes out and stuff like that, he's, if not the best two-way player in the game for the past, however long he's been in the league. So just, being in the same sentence as him, it's surreal for me. It's a huge honor, but there's a long way for me to go and a lot of stuff for me to learn still.
When you first got to the Lightning, were you intimidated by any of the guys that were there?
Yeah, for sure. Just like camps and stuff when I was younger, obviously, meeting guys like Stamkos and Kucherov and Hedman who, you grew up kind of watching them. They were in the league, when you were younger, and, you watched them, and to just be able to have a conversation with them. Like I said, it was super surreal at first and definitely intimidating. You don't really want to say too much. You kind of just want to take it all in. And, but now getting to know them over the past couple of years, they're unbelievable guys and great teammates. So it's a lot of fun to be at the rink and just be around them.
So tell me about when you designed the hat for the Ryan Callahan Foundation. I know it was like McDonough, Hetty, you designed something, and who else was involved in it?
I think Corner was the other one.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So I know they were having like a competition to see who could sell the most, and then obviously, all hell broke loose and everything shut down. Do you know how your merchandise did? Did you hear any, positive feedback, any chirping from your teammates?
Definitely some chirping from the teammates. A lot of guys, they liked the hat, but they didn't think it was one of the better hats that were created. So I definitely got some chirping there. I'm not sure what the final numbers ended up being. I know me and Hetty kind of were having a little debate there. Obviously, Hetty was gonna, I think, get his sold out quickest. His hat was great, and it's Victor Hedman. You gotta snag his hat for sure. Oh, there it is. Background.
It's the dog. I mean, that's
we went with a familiar face. Everyone loves dogs, right? So that's what I'm going to go with. But yeah, it was all fun. We're able to donate some of the proceeds to a charity. I chose the Callahan's Foundation. Just from playing with Callie the prior year, and the things that he does in the community. Want to help him out a bit, and my charity was his. But yeah, it was so super fun designing it. They put in a lot of work to design a hat that you don't know about. So the kind of behind the scenes on how it works. So it was for a good cause, and like I said, it was a lot of fun doing it.
Did you actually design the hat? Because when Girardi was doing the podcast with me and we had McDonough on, McDonough was one of the guys that was chirping your hat, and then Girardi was chirping your hat. But McDonough, he said that he didn't really have any involvement in the creation of his truck with the Bolts logo. Did you have involvement on the creation of it?
Yeah, like the logo, no, but you chose the colors and the design, how you want it to be. You got to choose kind of the material that was used, what kind of hat you want it to be. So you had some say on what you want to go, where you want to go in the direction of the hat. But they obviously helped a lot because, we never designed a hat before. So they kind of knew what was in style and what colors work with what. So it was kind of a team effort, I'd say. But yeah, I definitely got chirped a bit on the hat.
Hey, listen, have you started the playoff beard yet? And how does that go since, there's been this long pause and now you guys get right back into it? Has there been any discussion or thought about that on your part?
I don't really grow the greatest playoff beard, so I'm kind of good with whatever happens. But I didn't really shave a bunch when it was in quarantine for the 2 months or whatever it was. But then it was kind of getting outrageous, and I didn't really want to go on the commercial shoe with some.
Is it blotchy? You grow like a blotchy beard?
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe we'll start up again once the season gets going again. So we'll see.
All right, listen, I got a 3-year-old daughter, and we just took her to get skating lessons for the first time the other day. And the first thing they do is they teach them to fall. But I'm really trying to expedite the process of getting her into the NHL. So I need to know how I can get her to learn how to fall, and then quickly get her to learn how to kill off a 5-on-3 power play. Like, how do I get to that point? Like, how do you get from just learning how to falling to get into the NHL? Seems like there's a big gap there.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I don't know the whole process.
When did you start skating? Like, what age?
I want to say when I was maybe 4 or 5-ish, I think is when I started skating, and it was just, my parents threw me in whatever just to get on the ice. And at that point, I don't even know if they thought I liked hockey or whatnot, but it was, I loved the game growing up, and I'd always watch it whenever I could. So they kept putting me in hockey, and and then I was playing in some minor leagues, with my friends, and then kind of just, went to was fortunate enough to play junior in the OHL, and then kind of got here. So it's obviously a huge process from your first couple strides on the ice to getting to where you want to be. So, but it's obviously I owe a lot to my parents and my family who've helped me out a lot, and just paying for stuff because it's expensive to go through hockey for sure.
Yeah.
So I owe a lot to them, and a lot of coaches that helped me along the way.
What did you and Yanni do at the airport a few months back?
Yeah, that was another cool experience. We were actually able to kind of help out people through a full kind of check-in to takeoff. So we were there checking in bags. Then we were then we started checking in people to the flight. So we'd be calling names, calling seat numbers.
Were you actually working?
We were actually working. Yeah, we were put to work there. So we were doing all that kind of stuff, getting them on the plane, and then we were actually able to throw some luggages on the plane on the tarmac.
How was that? That feel good?
That was pretty cool. Yeah. So we're down there, and then we were kind of I'm not sure what you call them, but people holding the lights to make sure the plane is going in the right direction.
Yes.
Yeah, we were those guys. So
those guys are important, I think.
It was pretty. We had to hold these things over our shoulders for like a good 10 minutes while we're walking. Like, it was kind of a good workout, actually. Like, it's pretty cool to see what happens. Like, obviously, when you go, you just hop on your flight. You don't really know what's going on behind the scenes of how your checked bag gets on the plane to how your plane takes off. So, it was pretty cool experience to see what they do behind the scenes.
Let me just ask you one last question about the team. I mean, you guys acquired some new players at the deadline. Obviously, there's been high hopes for the last few years and high hopes for this year. What do you think about the acquisitions that were made, at the trade deadline and your team going forward? Because they said everybody's pretty much at a disadvantage, which means everybody's on an even playing field right now going forward.
Yeah, I think obviously with the time off and everyone's pretty much going to have their full lineup. The guys that we brought in, I think, were very good complements to our team. Colsey, Goody, Bogo. So having guys like that are, they played in the playoffs before, and they're, I thought they were huge for us when they first stepped in our team, right? So, it goes to show that I think, management's kind of all in, and everyone's kind of all in to, get to the playoffs and hopefully go on a long run. So I think we're, really excited to hopefully get back at it soon, where we can be playing games and get into, that playoff type hockey. Cause, it's the most fun that, I have every year is playing in those playoff games.
Are you taking anything from what happened last year, any learning experiences, and trying to take it into this year? Or are you just forgetting about that and this is a whole new season?
I think a little bit of both. Obviously, it was a learning experience for everyone, and we had to, take that and we have to grow as a team. And I think we learned some lessons for sure last year, and we took them into this season and trying to work on our game and trying to work on things that we need to be better at. But at the end of the day, too, it was a new season. It's a new team. We have new players. So, it's not the same year, and the same thing doesn't happen every year. You don't know who you're playing yet. So I think the lessons that we learned, though, would help us for sure going into the playoffs this year.
Do you get confused for any other players on the Lightning?
Well, out in public?
Yeah. When you're coming out, to your car or something after a game and people just start shouting names, anybody ever get you confused for anybody else?
I actually got Pointer one time. Someone called me Pointer one time.
Okay. That's not too bad.
That's not terrible. Yeah, that's the only one. That's the only one that it doesn't happen often, actually. I don't really think I look like anyone.
Just so you know, the coldest one that ever happened was, I heard about it on this podcast, Girardi told me, was Callahan got mistaken for Kucherov at a restaurant, and they gave him a bunch of free food and stuff, and the whole time they thought that he was Kucherov. So I think that's the – I think that's –
that's a tough one to mix up.
I think he wanted it to be Kucherov, and he just looked at Callahan.
Yeah.
He was just hoping, and
it's Kucherov.
Yeah, when it's just like, oh, hey, you know what? All right, I want it to be this guy, and it's this guy. Listen, you're having a great season, Anthony. I appreciate you coming on. I know that Breezer thought this might not happen, so I'm going to go ahead, since it's recorded, and tweet about it. Have a great rest of the season, a great playoffs. We're rooting for you, Anthony Cirelli, and thanks for taking time to come on the Block Party, man.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks for having me. It was a good time.
Absolutely, man. See you soon.
All right, see ya.